I think it's the most disruptive system in all of marketing. And if you're a CMO, a director of marketing, an agency, an entrepreneur, you have to know this thing exists.
It's all the stuff that's important to the business that they don't really care about until somebody like a Shaun Clark or HighLevel actually comes along and shows them the error of their ways.
And it works for everybody. You show me the biggest sales department in the world, and I'll show you that this will save you money in efficiency at a massive scale.
But today is all about follow-up and speed to lead and AI. Kasim Aslam, I'm pretty excited to have this guy on today's show. How you doing, buddy?
I'm living the dream. How you doing, Ralph?
Yeah, we're good. Well, there's a disclaimer because I don't know if I asked you this in the pre-record, but I believe you're a customer of our guest who is going to be talking today.
Ralph, I'm not just a customer. I'm the 4th highest ranked affiliate for HighLevel, or at least I was at one point. I think I've since been usurped and or dethroned. Mm-hmm. But I've sold the daylights out of this damn thing, and I'm a super fan, dude. I think the guy we're about to talk to is probably, at the risk of pandering, I think he's the most engaged founder I've ever known. He's got 10,000 plus customers, probably more, I bet now. That's years old data. And he's still inside of the Facebook group answering like support ticky-tack bullshit. What he needs is a handler. Like, he needs people to protect him from himself, because I don't know what he's doing. It feels so far beneath his pay grade, but at the same time, it's how he keeps his finger to the pulse. It's why the product moves as quickly as it's moved. I think it's the most disruptive system in all of marketing. And if you're a CMO, a director of marketing, an agency, an entrepreneur, you have to know this thing exists, because there's nothing I've seen more robust. And I'm not giving you my affiliate link. I'm not selling it to make money. I'm selling it because I've never seen anything that can do so much. It's all like you say, Ralph. It's the little hinge that swings the big door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hyperbole in there, actually, and good use of the word usurp, by the way, in the first 30 seconds of the show. So I just want to get that out there, that Kasim is a shill for this guy. So, but not in a bad way, because what we're going to be talking about here is the stuff I find just conceptually, not even the company that he runs. He's co-founder of HighLevel. Obviously, we're talking about Shaun Clark here, which we're going to intro in just a second. It's all the stuff that's important to the business that they don't really care about until somebody like a Shaun Clark or HighLevel actually comes along and shows them the error of their ways. I always go back to this, and this is a probably an overused example, but one of my first Facebook ads clients was an accounting service. It was a virtual accounting service. They did bookkeeping, accounting, and I got them. I was doing amazingly well. I got them 3,000 leads in less than, I think it was 6 months. Name, phone number, email, a bunch of other information on like a 7-form field. And I was fired after 3 or 4 months, because I asked them, all right, well, I got all these leads for you. Like, you guys must be just rolling in it. And they had none of the stuff that we're going to be talking about here today. And that, I think, is where so many businesses go wrong. They maybe even listen to this show, Kasim. The name of this show is about traffic, and traffic is sexy, and it's cool, and there's all kinds of tips and tricks and hacks. When, in fact, if you really want to grow a business, you actually sometimes have to talk to people and follow up with them in a humanistic way. We're going to be talking about, obviously, what Shaun does for a living here through HighLevel, but just the concept of it. If you can shift your focus, if you're a CMO, director of marketing, and you're reaching out, you're either watching or listening to this show, it is not all about traffic. It's all about the follow-up sequences. And obviously, with the changes that we have right now with AI, it makes it even more interesting. So without further ado, you can sense our excitement here. Kasim, maybe a little bit over the top. I'm going to have to bring you down a little bit. I know you love this guy. There's a lot of like bro love hanging here, I think, on today's show.
It's a little stalkerish.
It's a little stalker, weird. Yeah. So if that turns you off, I don't know, go listen to the HubSpot podcast or something like that. But today we're going to be talking this stuff. So welcome to Perpetual Traffic, Shaun Clark.
Hey, nice to be here. Thanks. Thanks for having me.
He's like, what do I say next?
That's awkward intro.
Yeah, awkward intro for Kasim. Yeah, we're just like pushing it all out there. So with every guest that comes on Perpetual Traffic, like there's a lot of stuff that you know and do on a regular basis, but give the PT listener a little nugget, something they can implement today that'll make a big difference in their business.
Sure, absolutely. So missed call, text back. How many times have you called a business and they didn't pick up the phone? All the time. And then and then what do you do as a consumer? You call their competitor, right? Down the list.
The next one, yeah.
So exactly. So how about this? Make it so that next time when somebody calls your client and they don't pick up, it texts them back and says, hey, we're on the call with another customer right now. Would love to help you. Would you like to book an appointment? Would you like to book an estimate? Would you like to whatever? And guess what you'll do? You'll save that person and you'll be able to actually automate the next step and actually get them to book an appointment, and your customers will love you for it. And it's incredibly simple today.
That's really brilliant.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. And
that's enough value for most people to pay your bill every month just for that one thing.
If you could just do that. Now, there's obviously a service that you offer that can do that. There's lots of vendors that do that. Correct?
Yes.
But the idea is find one. If you're missing those calls, and it doesn't matter who you are. So if you're notorious is like the trades industry, like the plumber, I just met with my electrician today, and I believe he actually has your system. I have to double check, but if he doesn't, he should. Point is they were actually, he does respond. They do have an actual answering service so that it's not missed calls. But for a lot of people, they feel like, all right, I'm too small to be able to do this. Like I'm a one-man show, or maybe I have an admin, or my sister is answering the phone for me.
Absolutely.
Like, how do you do it so that it's economical for those types of business owners, which do listen to the show here?
Yeah, I mean that's why you need to use software, right? So you need to have software that can see that call coming in. It knows that whether or not it was answered, and then if you didn't answer it, it just sends off a text. I mean, it's just that simple. It's very easy to do these days, and it's incredibly effective. And quite frankly, the funny part is for most people, they don't want to actually call anyways. And when you text them, they're thrilled to find that that's an option, because they're not calling to ask you about your favorite color or what you think about the weather. Most of the time, they're trying to just get some piece of information and then make it a purchase decision, right? Because I need my toilet replaced. I saw you on Google. You have good reviews. I just want to know if you can come out this week, right? Yeah. That's all I'm calling for anyways. And so if I could do that all over text, well, thank goodness. I got 1,000 other things I got to do today.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, super good point.
This is not a glitch. I'm interrupting the video you're watching because I want to remind you that we provide done-for-you Google Ads services. We're the #1 ranked Google Ads agency on the planet with almost $100 million in ad spend under management. If you're an entrepreneur, business owner, C-level exec, director of marketing, and you're managing your own Google Ads, I think that's a massively inefficient use of your time. As a matter of fact, in my experience, within 90 days, we're able to optimize existing campaigns to a point to where we're paying for ourselves. We move from being a cost center to a profit center, and I want to put my time and my money where my mouth is. If you're spending $10,000 a month or more in Google Ads, I want to offer you a free, no obligation action plan. A high-level member of my team, one of our strategists, will look at your account, open the hood, and do a full diagnostic and explain everything that we would recommend that you change in order to optimize your campaigns. You can take that, do it yourself, you can hand it to an internal member of your team, or in an ideal world, you can hire us. I'd love the opportunity to earn your business. Please go to sol8.com. That's SOL, the number 8.com. Request your free action plan. Until then, back to your regularly scheduled program. We are going to dive deep, I think, into the infrastructure that is serving traffic. And Shaun, most of our episodes are about how do I get the traffic, which is probably, to be honest with you, a disservice to our listeners, because there's such an important aftermath when it comes to serving traffic. And you've built an entire, what would I call it, an ecosystem. It's not even just a SaaS product any longer. It's like an entire ecosystem meant not just for this, but I'd say especially geared towards serving traffic, nurturing pipelines, funnels, etc. So curious, how many customers do you have? How many end users to your software?
Ooh, I don't know that one, but I know end small businesses, and that's 500,000, so 500,000.
500,000 people using. So it's safe to say that it
500,000
works.
businesses. So I don't know if they on average they had two employees, that'd be a million users.
A million users. Okay, 500,000 businesses, which I think qualifies as proof of concept.
Yeah,
If
well, we're getting there. It's one day at a time.
Yeah, I mean, it's a small country at this point, which is,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
it's
a
pretty
little
cool. You got to be pretty proud of that.
It's amazing actually.
Yeah. What are the things, like, if you were to prioritize? We're talking to, and remember, we're talking to director of marketing, CMO. We're talking to people that probably aren't going to do it. They're going to point, and they're going to say,
Right.
"Hey, you go
Right.
do this." So,
Yeah.
like, if we were to give them 5 punch list items to give to their minions to go execute on, which would they be, and how would you prioritize them?
Well, I think the vast majority of people are terrible at nurturing leads. So if you look at most people, they have leads. Even people who come to you and say, I need leads, have leads. Whether they know how to capture them correctly, whether they know how, to really assign them to the right channels correctly, maybe that's stop number one, is just looking at their existing inflow and making darn sure that they are actually accounting for that. So that's inbound phone calls. That's people coming to their website that they're not converting into a lead, right? So all those capture points, capture, nurture, close. That's how I always think about it. So are we capturing everything? If not, that's step one. So when anybody calls that business, we got to know. When anybody hits that website for that business, we got to know. When somebody goes to the Google My Business profile and takes an action, chats, something like that, got to know. Facebook page, Instagram feed, whatever, got to know. And then from there, once you're but most people have capture at some level, and it's really there where most people fall off, because agencies are great at spinning up more leads. Even if they jump to things like, let's run an ad campaign, tons of traffic coming in, they generally are good enough to put a form on a website, you're going to get leads. It's what happens after that where everything goes to pot, because from there it's speed to lead. So somebody raises their hand and says, I'm interested in your plumbing services. You have 5 minutes or less to contact me and move me down the pipe or down the funnel if you really want me to convert. And most people leave that alone, and that's where the failure occurs, because the business owners are not set up to do this for themselves. You'd think they are, but they're not. And so what we need to do there is we need to automate and make that just a seamless automatic transaction.
You know what's funny is my experience with a lot of larger businesses is they seem to think that they've outgrown this problem. It's like, oh, I sell enterprise software solutions. I've got an ERP. I've got people. I can call them back next week. I can get you on Monday. And it's my response to that is like, no, people are people. Everybody's impatient. No. We're all in instant gratification mode. And I don't care what you're selling. Time is of the essence. Time kills sales. And so not implementing this, this could double the efficacy of your traffic, if not more.
Exactly, easily. And it works for everybody. You show me the biggest sales department in the world, and I'll show you that this will save you money in efficiency at a massive scale. Even if all it does is make it so instead, for your 100 salespeople, you now operate like a 200-person sales department, because all that initial outreach is automated. Right there, you're making tons of money. So this works for every size of business. But I think for the vast majority of people, it's really simple. Reach out to them and try to buy something from them, and just start the watch and see how long it takes. And most of them will fail that 5-minute test, and some of them will fail things like the 24-hour test. It's abysmal. But why that matters is because the data shows that the likelihood of closing that sale doesn't go down like in a straight line. It's logarithmic. It declines dramatically off the back of that 5-minute mark. So it's on everyone, if they want to make money, to get back to those leads quickly.
No, I might be stepping outside your realm of proficiency, but given how much access you have, I'd just be curious, have you noticed common denominators when it comes to what you're saying in the nurture? Because you can't just email and be like, do you want to buy? You want to buy? You want to, you want to schedule? Like, what are we saying? What's the narrative? How do you capture that attention and serve?
Yeah. It's actually simple. It's sticking to yes or no questions. So first of all, these are inbound leads, right? The vast majority of them. And these people are really responding to something And really what you want to do as an organization, whether it's a small business or a large business, is almost always the same. You want to get connected to that person via generally an appointment is the conduit, but you want to get them booked on something is almost always the situation, right? And they might reach out with a very specific question. That's absolutely true. But your goal as an org is to get them on an appointment. And so it's always being simple. It's saying like, basically, do you want to book an appointment now? Like, recognize them, say like, hey, I saw that you requested more information about X. Do you want to book an appointment to talk about that? And it's the yes or no question that's important, because human beings almost instinctually will answer yes or no questions, like uncommanded. Their brains will answer them. But if you go long, if you ask me my life story or to tell me that one time that I went on vacation and had a good, my brain falls apart and it just can't comprehend. And so you just don't get people to take action. And this is kind of like, remember like why we have buttons on websites that pop forms versus just showing forms, right? Because we know it like mentally, it's like breadcrumbs. It moves us down the path. Same thing here. If I say, do you want to book an appointment? I say, yes, I've clicked that breadcrumb and now I'm moving my brain farther down the road of doing something you want me to do. So then when you fire back and say, great, here's a link to my calendar, grab a time that works for you or something like that, I'm way more likely to actually take the action and book the appointment.
Dude, this is such a massive golden nugget for our listeners, and I think this applies to so many things in marketing. You want to make it binary, so I love stick to yes, no. And this could be true, for service-based, but I think this could be true for e-com too. If you've got a cart abandonment sequence, it's like, hey, I noticed you jumped ship. Just curious, like, are you still looking for whatever? Yes or no?
Are you still interested in?
Yeah.
Right.
Do you want the large or the small? Like, you can stick to just, and it's so funny because it's so simple. If you keep it simple for people to respond, you keep the conversation going.
Yeah, and everybody knows everybody knows their product, right? Like e-com. Let's say it's a really expensive product. You might not lead with the buy because buys are hard because it's a $20,000 purchase. But you might say, hey, would you like some more information on how this can be used like X? Because your like, hey, it's like an off-road vehicle. Like, hey, you want to see how this can be used to, in mud, sand, and water? People are like, oh, that'd be great. And you're like, cool. And you can automate the sending of that information. You're just trying to reel me in. The more you can keep me engaged, the more likely I am to make that purchase decision.
Hey, it's Kasim with you today in the Google News, and joining me is one of my favorite people in the whole world, Shaun Clark, CEO of HighLevel. Did I get that right, Shaun?
Yes.
You're not a title guy, right? Like,
no, I wouldn't know my own title if other people didn't tell it to me now and again. So I would just say co-founder because I feel like that's better.